What do recruiters do? Matt Haver with Foundation Recruiting and Consulting, back for another message about what recruiting is and how it works. So, what do recruiters do? There's different types of recruiters. They have slightly different functions, but generally they all do the same thing. Um, what do people think recruiters do? People think that recruiters place people. They do place people, but they don't work the way that most people think. So it's not recruiters' jobs to take people and then place them in jobs. It's recruiters' jobs, and this is not 100%, but it's about 95% of the industry. It's recruiters' jobs to find people for openings that companies have, companies and organizations. So, and I'll tell you about the different types of recruiters and how that works. So, there are internal recruiters, so corporate recruiters. They work for a company or organization and they are managing the recruiting process to find and attract people and also use passive processes they have in place to fill their internal openings. Then there's external recruiters. These can be kind of in a variety of different styles. There can be contract or outsourced recruiting. They're basically like an internal recruiter, but they just don't, they're not employees of the company. So for your experience as a candidate, and a candidate is somebody who's applying for a job or interested in a job or a company, your experience as a candidate is the same with corporate recruiters versus contract recruiters. The majority of the time, it should be pretty similar experience because those people are just extensions of the organization. They don't work for the organization. And then there's third party recruiters, right? So third party recruiters, they are trying to place people, but they're still working off of the company or organization requirements. So if it's direct hire, they're going out and finding a pool of candidates that fit the requirements that the company needs and presenting them to the company in order to find the person who's going to fit all their technical needs and situational needs and personality needs and all those different pieces. And so they're going to try to find somebody and help that organization get that person through the hiring process and get that candidate to have, to get an offer and accept an offer. There is, so with direct hire, recruiters can work on a contingent basis, which means they only get paid when they're successful, and they can work on a retained basis, which means that they are paid all or part of the fee up front. There's also staffing, so this would be like temporary positions or filling in, also contract to hire. So in those types of situations, there can be a little bit of a company who is like essentially trying to place you if they have like a, let's say, a group of people that are all the same. So that could be like front desk administrative assistants or bookkeepers or whatever the case may be. And they are usually defined pretty tightly by a title and one or two skill sets. They could be trying to place you in that sense. Like you can go to like a large staffing company and they'll put you out on temporary assignments or contract to hire, which is when you are out there on a temporary assignment and you have the possibility of getting converted as an employee at the end of that process. So in those situations, they are kind of placing you, but it is still based off of client requirements, right? It just happens to be that with those types of situations, they usually have a lot of candidates. They're fairly interchangeable based on, and I listen, I know that everybody's people, so just, but keep in mind, those candidates are fairly interchangeable based on their title and their skill set, right? So, but in all those cases, recruiters don't really, they do place people, right? But it's not their job to take people and place them, right? Candidates are not our clients, so it's just something to keep in mind. Recruiters absolutely can be really valuable to you in your job search, and they can help you, and they can give you advice, and they may be able to place you. They might even be able to place you multiple times. Um, but generally speaking, they're so recruiters, our clients are not candidates. And if a recruiter wants you to pay them to represent them, to represent you, um, I would look into it very carefully. A lot of times those are scams. There's a lot of situations where people are trying to take advantage of candidates who are out of work. So that's kind of a brief overview of what recruiters actually do and a few of the models in recruiting in different ways that you might interact with a recruiter, whether they work for a company or whether they're an external recruiter. Again, This is Matt Haver with Foundation Recruiting Consulting, and we'll keep this series going with additional details about job searches and also with the hiring process. Thanks.